So, House Democrats are pushing to renew the efforts for a second round of $1,200 stimulus checks. Now, this is something that's very important because over the past few months, everyone has been watching and waiting patiently to find out if we are indeed going to get a $1,200 stimulus check. And we've been kind of going back and forth with that. So, as of right now, a second set of 1,200 stimulus checks is still on the table for Republicans and Democrats, but they are still in the process of bickering between the entire stimulus package. Now, interestingly enough, the Republicans, while in one breath said that they were on board with the second stimulus check, they tried to pass a skinny stimulus package through the Congress a few weeks back of only $500 billion dollars that did not include a second stimulus check. Now, the stimulus stalemate has left I should say, has left lawmakers at odds over how to get more relief to millions of Americans. Now, earlier this month, the Senate Republicans have said that they were fully on board and that they were willing to increase the stimulus amount. President Trump did also come out as well, along with the Treasury Secretary, and said that they were on board with increasing the stimulus package amount for the Republican proposal and also including second round of stimulus checks. But that didn't come to fruition. Now, the economic impact payments, it must be made because rent is due for a lot of people. And Representative Al Green, who's the Democrat of Texas, believes the same thing. And he was quoted in one of the hearings as saying that if they don't do anything, and this is kind of a paraphrasing, he said that they're going to be putting people at risk of being evicted at a time when we're at a pandemic and it's still taking lives in this country, which is very true. Now, the Representative Grant also said that a new Government Accountability Office report found that the Treasury Department does not have adequate data on the number of people who qualify for the first stimulus checks, but who have not yet received them. So what this means is that the government sent out the first round of stimulus checks a few months back. God, it's probably been 4 months ago now, but they don't yet know how many people haven't actually received those checks yet. Now, keep in mind that the numbers that they are looking for, it does exclude gig workers, which could also be people in the millions. Now, also keep in mind that the IRS is in the process of mailing out letters to about 9 million Americans who are going to be notified that they may still be eligible for a stimulus check that they haven't yet received on the first go around. Now, Munchin was also asked, who was the Treasury Secretary, he was asked whether or not the administration supports a second round of stimulus payments. And he flat out said that he does. And this was just literally a few days ago. Now, the likelihood and timing of that money, it still remains very unclear. House Democrats and Senate Republicans, they both put forward proposals that include a second round of direct payments. But other issues, however, they've made it quite impossible, as of right now at least, for the both sides to come to an agreement. Now, from Munchin's proposal, he came out a few days ago and said that, they obviously can't pass a bill in the Senate without bipartisan support, which we already know. But he is stating that they are going to try to continue to negotiate with the Democrats to get support for a second stimulus payment and a second stimulus package. Now, overall, I think Congress needs to be more transparent with each other. I should say with themselves, because as of right now, it feels as though that one side and the other side is probably not showing all of their cards. And I'm starting to think that it has a lot to do with the coming up elections. Now, the presidential elections are coming up here in the next few months, and I think that both sides are using the second stimulus package as leverage. They're both are trying to angle to determine, to determine how they're going to use this as political power to get votes for the next coming up election. So each side is accusing the other side as being the problem as to why we don't have a second stimulus package, and each side is stating that they are offering more than the other side when it comes to providing support to average citizens and so forth. And each side is also accusing the other side of not being transparent as to what each side wants. So someone's not telling the truth here, or both are not telling the truth. In either case, we have Americans that need stimulus payments and still need support. Now, we have had up to this point 4 stimulus packages. only one of those has really been for stimulus checks, and American citizens are looking for a second one. Now, while the unemployment numbers are still improving, at least from the Census Bureau census data that comes out on a every weekly on a Thursday, we still are in a situation to where we don't know whether we're opening up or whether we're closing. And so, what is going on right now is we still have a lot of Americans who are not working. We still have the executive orders that are put into place from President Trump about stopping evictions, but that also means that while we have hundreds of thousands of homes that are people who aren't paying rent, we also have landlords who aren't collecting rent. And there's going to come a point in time as well to where rent's going to be due as it is in the next coming of months. And so what we need right now is we need Congress to come together and to stop using the stimulus package as political leverage for the coming up elections and to just pass something. And if they can do that, which I don't know if I'm entirely confident that they are going to, I know that they can, but I don't know if they're going to. If they can do that sooner than later, then the American people can have a lot more confidence when it comes to having jobs, getting back into work, and knowing that they're not going to be evicted and so forth, because this is a very serious thing. In addition to that, a lot of people are very concerned as to whether or not we're going to have a second, outbreak. If you guys are looking in the news, Europe has had a second outbreak right now, and everyone is kind of worrying if we're going to have one here in the States. And quite frankly, we don't know. Now, heaven forbid that we do have one. Congress is going to have to come even together even faster and approve a second stimulus package so that people can not only stay in their homes, but that companies have more incentives to keep everyone employed and so forth. So there's just a lot of stuff going on right now, guys. And I know that people are really, really tired and kind of exhausted and so forth, kind of dejected because there's a lot of stimulus update package news right now, but there isn't a lot of movement. I would just say this. The Democrats and Republicans have both stated that they do want to continue negotiations, and I do think that we are going to get a second stimulus package. I also think that we are going to get a second stimulus check. And I say that because it still continues to come up, and I also know that both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, know that it is a very key voting point when it comes to choosing the next president. And so, Biden is stating that he wants two stimulus checks. The president currently is stating that he wants at least one, if not more, and it's going to be more generous. So they both are very well aware that, and also, by the way, this isn't just stimulus checks just so people can go shopping, to go to Best Buy and buy, big screen TVs. I mean, these are stimulus checks so that people can pay rent and stay in their homes and in their, in their dwellings. And so Congress is well aware of that, and that's why I think they were going to get a second one. Hopefully in the next, I don't know, maybe in the next few weeks, maybe as we get closer to the election time, who knows? But I do think one is going to come. So just stay patient, guys. In the meantime, at least we know that there are some executive orders that are in place that are helping millions of Americans stay employed and stay in their homes, and also have their student loans deferred and so forth. So that's kind of where we're at with this. So if anything, an additional or anything pressing or any significant updates comes out with this, will be sure to provide you guys an update. As I've told you guys before, I don't want to do daily update videos. There's a few channels that are just hammering out daily update videos just for the views, and I don't want that to be the case on this channel. I want to make sure that I'm producing content to you guys that at least has a value and substance behind it, so that everyone feels as though that when you're listening to it, that you're getting up-to-date information. So I really do appreciate you guys watching. If you got to the end of the video, thank you for support. I highly recommend you guys subscribe to the videos. And excuse me, you can't subscribe to the video, but you can like the video. I highly recommend you guys subscribe to the channel that has the videos. I have been doing a number of stimulus update videos, but I'm also doing a number of stock investing videos as well, and financial improvement videos also. So if you guys like that kind of content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell, and let me know what additional things you guys would like to have discussed in the comments below. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Stay safe.